Hello and welcome to the Dublin Arsenal podcast. I'm your host, Jonathan Giles. On this week's midweek podcast, I'm joined by regular guests Eamon Donnelly and John Mealy to review last night's 3-1 away Premier League victory at the G-Tech Community Stadium. And remember to like, comment and subscribe to our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel. And from everyone at the Dublin Arsenal Supporters Club, we wish all our fans a happy new year. So sit back and enjoy the show. As I said in my intro, I'm joined by my regular guest at this stage. First of all, John Mealy, Happy New Year, pal. How are you?
How you, Johnny? Yeah, well, good.
Great to have you back on again, pal. Fresh face.
What's going on, Johnny?
It's nosebleed time. New year, new start. Fresh optimism. And I'm also joined by Eamon. How are you this week, Donnelly?
Evening, Jonathan. Evening, John. I was just watching a documentary there about corduroy pillows. They're making headlines. Then there was a thing on about the fella who invented knock-knock jokes. He got the Nobel Prize there. Now, we're all okay. Yeah, all good.
New year, new jokes.
I seem to be forever on this podcast. The games are coming around so quickly, you know.
I know, yeah. It doesn't feel like we're getting any match day rest. No. That beer and Moretti is still in stock, I hope, for Eamon.
I've just opened my first one, given that it's Thursday. But yeah, maybe these Monday nights aren't the best idea. But look, we'll make an exception. So happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year to all our listeners that listen to us week on, week out. Much appreciated. And also a shout out to our friends at Pepsi, Thirsty for More. As you can see, Eamon there quenching the thirst. Straight to our match review as always, lads. 3-1 away victory last night against Brentford. Goals for ourselves, Jesus, Marino and Martinelli. For Brentford, Brian Mbeumo, who's on fire for them this season. 9 goals now at home this season, so that's the most from any striker in the league. It leaves us second in the table. 19 played midway now, which is mad. Season's flying in, and 39 points, 6 points off Liverpool, of course, who have a game in hand over Everton. A few facts before we kick into the review of the match. Age 17 years and 286 days, Eden and Weary became the third youngest player to start a Premier League game for Arsenal. Cesc Fabregas was the fourth, 17 years and 103 days against Everton back in 2004. So Richie White, I'm sure you remember that day. And Theo Walcott was second, 17 years, 212 days versus Watford in 2006. So some the years are just flying in, but he had a really good game last night. Eden and really looks the talent. Of course, Gabriel Jesus now boasts 6 goals in his last 4 appearances in all competitions, as many as his previous 48 beforehand. Arsenal have scored 9 goals from corner situations this season, the most of any side. So thanks to our little bollocks nicking it over. Arsenal's next 4 fixtures, just quickly. Saturday, Brighton away. Newcastle at home in the Carabao Cup semi-final on Tuesday. January 12th will be Man United at home in the third round of the FA Cup. And then January 15th, the North London Derby against Spurs in the Premier League. So our next 4 there. Into the match analysis, that's 13 minutes was when Brian Mbeumo struck for Brentford. The low strike that bet David Ray at his left-hand post. Could Calafiori got a bit tighter? And could Ray have kept it out? He was close not to save. I have to say, when you look back on it, I've just watched it a few times a day. He was kind of unlucky not to get fingertips to it. But of course, in the build-up to that goal was Martin Odegaard, who gave the ball away to Damsgaard, who set up Brian Mbeumo. Odegaard had a bit of an off night, I thought. You know, but I think that ankle injury, as myself and Aim were saying the last, it's, you know, he's just kind of getting back to his form again. But it won't be long being the top player that he is. 27 minutes was when Brentford's Lewis Potter had that powerful strike from distance that Ray managed to spill. But to get back to the line and claw it back out right on the goal line, it was incredible. I think we'll just call him David the Claw Ray from now on. We saw against Aston Villa and Atalanta how his reflexes and how he gets up very quickly. His agility is just amazing. And for his first appearance back at Brentford's home ground since the signing of the summer, was there a bit of nerves there, but he got back again and saved us, because a minute later was when that strike from Thomas Partey was parried by Mark Flecken, and there was Gabriel Jesus with a stupid header to parry it. I thought Thomas Partey and Mikel Merino, I thought they were really good in midfield last night, particularly Thomas Partey. He had a great game. I thought Gabriel, Timber and Saliba, they kept Wissa and Mbeumo quiet for Brentford, notified them. And I thought Damsgaard impressed me in Brentford's midfield as well. He kind of makes things tick for them. Into the second half, 2 goals in 3 minutes really killed the game and finished it off. 50 and 53 minutes. The first was when Brentford's Flecken flapped at the corner, and it led to Merino burying a shot. A second goal for us in the Premier League, and this Martinelli's goal was through Namweri's cross, which was poorly headed away by Nathan Collins of Brentford, and a cracking strike from Martinelli to make it 2-0 or to 3-1. Sorry, and then really after that, then it was just really seeing the game out, as Eamon says, taking the silliness out of the game. And I thought from there on in, we controlled the game pretty well to win 3-1 at the end of the day. A massive win, I think, because going to Brentford isn't easy, and they've about 11 injury worries to themselves. But I thought once we got the second goal and then the third, it just killed the momentum of Brentford and kept the home crowd quiet. I don't want to come to you, John. What was your take on the match from last night?
I felt the game very, very similar to Fulham and every games so far that we completely controlled the game. The difference between those two teams and Brentford last night was what we need. We went behind, we're going to talk about on the striker.
Yeah.
Ray, I won't be happy conceding the goal at the near post. I think he was expecting them to go across. When we're 1-0 down, we have to find our way back. I thought we pushed them right back. They struggled to get out in their own half. They were looking at catches on the break. I have to be honest, I thought the first 20 minutes, 25 minutes, I thought Jesus was poor. I didn't see him doing a lot. His link-up play wasn't great. But I have to say his reactions for the equaliser was brilliant. Good effort from Partey from the edge of the box. The keeper will be disappointed. He should have pushed that around the corner. He should have gone to the corner as far away as possible.
Yeah.
I know on numerous occasions about goalkeepers do not put it back into the danger zone. But I have to be honest, Jesus' reaction was brilliant. Point header, equaliser. And I thought from then on, I thought they couldn't handle him. I thought he found himself again. The player we saw against Palace, I thought we started to see that again. He caused the balls off the problem for the rest of the game, and he got man of the match. I thought Partey was superb for the entire game.
Yeah,
he would have been my man of the match, but after he got his goal, I thought Jesus was superb. The 2 goals in the second half, again the second ball goals, as because chaos in the box, and we got the bounce to the ball. Mourinho was there to put in the second one, and the ball fell to Martinelli, and he controlled it well, hit a fine finish. And from then on in, we just controlled it. That's it, 3-1 up, coach to the 90 minutes, no more hassles. We done really well. I will mention when Anweri, I thought he took his time to get into the game. The more the game got on, the more confidence he got, the more inclined he was to take on his fullback and show a bit of individual skills, going for the line and cross in, putting inside, and he seemed to grow in confidence as the game went on. Brilliant for him. It was something we all wanted to see. It'd be interesting to see if he starts again on Saturday, but he definitely didn't do any harm with the way he played there last night. Good win up until Forest beat them last week. They hadn't lost at home, so that's 2 home defeats in a row for Brentford. Tough place to go. Good 3 points. Good way to start the year, and it keeps us in touch and distance at the top. as Arteta said afterwards, we've got to be there just in case.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's all we can do is look after ourselves, pick up the points, and if Liverpool start to come back, we just got to be there. So it's a really, really important win. I do think we need to find a little bit more creativity.
How do
Now,
you,
in
sorry,
fairness,
John? How do you think? What was your impression of Martin Odegaard's performance last night? He's finding
don't be fair. There's an awful lot. Let's be honest. There is an awful lot that you can answer that. Saka's not playing, so he has to get used to playing with someone else.
Yeah.
We know he's not long back from a long-term injury. We know his wife was the reason he had a baby. How much sleep is he getting with a newborn baby in the house? You know that all of these things add up. Not his best game.
Yeah.
It's still 6, 7 out of 10. He set the bar so high for himself. We expect it. We expect him to play 9, 10 out of 10 every week.
Yeah.
Maybe not his best game, but the rest of the team did enough, and he done his part. I mean, his pressing was excellent. Second half in particular, he done the basic things without being spectacular. So and he does lead the team. The team follow him. So I can understand why he's not playing at. He's the very top of his game. You're not dropping him. There's no way in here you're dropping him.
Yeah, you're dropping him. Yeah. Were you happy enough as well that Declan Rice got a bit of a rest? It was nice to give Thomas Partey and Mikel Merino just to see. I was quite happy with that midfield last night. Were you?
Yeah, as I said, I thought we controlled the game. Like the Partey, I thought was exceptional for the whole game. Again, I thought Merino grew into it.
Yeah.
The game got on, the more he got into it. He took his goal well. He does cause havoc from set pieces. He is a big unit. Tough defending teams find it hard to pick him up. And I thought he done the simple things well. If you're going to criticise him, I think this is something we might talk about. Calafiori started for the first time in a couple of weeks. It's almost like we spoke before that we haven't seen what Arteta had in mind. He's first 11 because of injuries, because of suspension. We haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But it's easy to say that Calafiori, Mourinho, Martinelli was the left-hand side of the team that he wanted to put out at the start of the season. But this is probably the first time we've seen it. And Calafiori's only coming back from injury, so he hasn't got a lot of game time under him. Mourinho is in and out of the team. And as we've spoken before, Martinelli is struggling for a bit of form. We need to see this on a more consistent basis. Calafiori, the little bit we've seen of him going forward is dynamic. He adds something different to the game that we haven't seen in Arsenal in a while. Defensively, I think he needs to up. He needs to find another level. Mourinho, again, he needs to find his position in the team. So it's something we need to see more. And I'm looking forward to seeing it because I think they're good players. But until you see them get a run in the team, it's going to be very hard to judge. Last night, they did okay. They did okay. Mourinho got his goal. Calafiori didn't let conceding the goal get to him because he played well after that.
Yeah.
So it's to look at. It's definitely something to keep an eye on to see if we see more of those three players down the left-hand side.
Yeah, and when you're going behind and finding ways to win, to come back and win, is quite refreshing as well. Yeah, I thought it's a tough place to go, but we came out. As
I said, I found it very similar to the Fulham and Everton games where the ball just didn't bounce our way. We had a lot of ball around the 18-yard box, but they managed to clear that. The ball just didn't bounce the right way. Last night, when the ball bounced their way, we punished. And, we'll take it.
You're right. Keeps the pressure on the pool. That's the main thing. Eamon, 3-1 last night. Starts the year off in a high for us. Away victory. What was your analysis from the game last night, Eamon?
Well, we battered them. We absolutely battered them. So I said on the show last week, I still haven't worked out in my mind whether teams set up with a low block because they think we haven't the craft to break it down or they're afraid of what we'll do to them. Right? But last night, I got some of the answers to that because Brentford started out with a low block and we made them even lower because we defended on the front foot. We pushed them back further than they wanted to be. Right? And we totally battered them. absolutely. But that was an annihilation last night. Like the first goal, gave the game a more meaningful look than it actually was. We absolutely battered them, right? And they're very good at home. They're the best home record in the league, bar none.
Yeah.
You know, I know they've a few injuries, but haven't we all? I just looked at one or two of the stats today. Almost 50% of the first half was played in their final third. That's half the game. It's played in their final third. So, John, you're right when you say against Everton and Fulham, we mightn't have got, the bounce of the ball, and we'd more men in the box and more touches in the box. And on the law of averages in any pinball game, something is going to go sling your way. We put more men in the box, and we've been doing that since the Everton game. We have been putting more men in the box. Right?
Would you agree as well, sorry, Eamon, for cutting across you, would you agree that we started moving the ball a lot more quicker in the second half, moving them around the pitch?
In the second half, we came out of the blocks on a mission.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we started moving. But you see, you can't move the ball quick all the time. Right?
Yeah.
But but obviously Brentford set up low. I thought we were really, apart from the first 15 or 20 minutes when there was a bit of sloppy passing, I thought we were well on top. But I was very, very comfortable in the first half. I thought we were playing really well. That was a much better performance than the one at Palace that we won 5-1. Much better performance. They didn't run through us at any stage. They only got 2 real efforts on goal. So
yeah. Sure.
So the number of touches in the box, and I don't want to go on Charlie Hughes. Remember him? Right. But obviously, if you get more touches in the opposition box, there's a better chance of something happening, right? And we mixed it up. Like Wanyardi goes inside, goes outside. But the other thing that was happening was we decided to add Mikel Merino to the mix in terms of somebody who's going to run into the box and cause an aerial threat. So you're not just forward and in. Like a number of times now, he got into positions in the first half when he looked like a good cross now and made him. Now, the cross mightn't have come in, but if you're a defender in the centre of that defence, it doesn't matter whether the cross doesn't come in or not, because Jesus, that's a threat. And it's a threat that I can't control because it's coming from further out the pitch. I'm now going to start calling midfielders in to deal with that. And if I start calling midfielders in to deal with that, then Etting gets more space on the right-hand side. That's all part of the plan, And that's when I said that we were going to have to find ways of playing without B. That's part of the plan. Like, get Merino coming in, attacking that ball. Someday soon, the centre half will realise I can't deal with him coming on to me. I'm going to have to call an extra central player in. Therefore, you're disrupting the low block. And that's good coaching and good play. Just a few other things. So we mixed it up a bit. We defended on the front foot. Thomas Partey, I thought was... I put up on the thread last night. Thomas Partey ran that game.
Yeah,
Thomas Partey last night was like Paddy Vieira in his pump. He was breaking up attacks. He won all but one of his tackles, and he was striding forward with the ball and making ground time and time again. I think maybe we're being a bit harsh on Martin. I thought Martin was quite good last night. I thought he knitted the play quite well. He's still not at his best, but of course, when your standout moment is the ball you give away in midfield, it tends to kind of cut your judgment a little bit. But funny, in real time, and this shows you the advantage of watching the game in your kitchen rather than the pub. In real time, as soon as Martin gave that ball away, I got a good picture of the field, and I said there could be trouble there. There could be, because what he was trying to do with the ball was get us onto an offensive position. Everybody had anticipated. Martin very seldom gives the ball away.
Yeah.
So everybody's positioned themselves, for an offensive threat. And the Brentford player then had he had plenty of time to run. Now I thought Calafiori has to get tighter to him. I don't really blame Raya, to be honest with you. because all ends up, we all thought he was going to try and go for the far corner. All ends up because, and Raya moved because he's expecting a left-footed curler, and he moved, and, you know, the shot was hit quite powerfully to the inside, and he got close to it. I know you to say a goalkeeper should never be beaten at his near post. I don't think they mean in them situations. I think they mean when somebody's coming from a wide position, you should never be beaten at your near post. But when you go to guess that the fella's going to woof Thierry Henry style into the top corner, and you move your body to adjust that, I don't think you can be really faulted. I mean, you're right about his agility to undo his own mess in the first half. I mean, that was a very, very unlike David Raya handling error. But I'm telling you, I'm not sure there's another goalkeeper in the league, right, who wouldn't have given up on that.
Yeah.
He didn't give up on it. As soon as it went through, his next thought was, that's not going in, right? It was an incredible piece of reaction. But the one thing about him was, what I love about Raya was, even after that, he composed himself.
Yeah.
He was a very important part of our second half. I don't know whether you noticed this Peyton Manning effort in the second half.
Did you see the throw where Gabriel Martinelli nearly got on the end? Yeah.
The Odegaard. It was the Odegaard.
Oh,
sweet Jesus, he landed it right. Only for their goalkeeper was alert. That was a goal.
Yeah. Even the goalkeeper, Brentford's keeper, gave him the thumbs up. He said,
yeah.
An NFL throw, that is, yeah.
Yeah, but look, I mean, I just to wrap up on my analysis, like, you know, I'm getting a bit tired of people saying, you know, we need to find a bit of form. Just so as people are clear. In the last 8 league games, we've won 6 and drawn 2, scored 19 and conceded 4. That to me is a bit of form.
That's right? A lot of form.
We're unbeaten in 12 games, but unfortunately, we now have people on the tread who don't have a meltdown when we lose. They have a meltdown when the opposition score. We were 1-0 down after 20 minutes, and the stuff on the tread was absolute. I mean, it's just nonsense. But the reason why I bring that up is, so while all the people who are, you know, all have a view on the game, and as I always say, my view is no more valid than anybody else's, right? But I remained calm because I could see the shape of the game, and I could see we were absolutely on top. They got a breakaway goal. Do you think the team lost their head? No, they did not. The team remained so calm. It was very impressive, and I think this team is just beginning to find its feet, right? And we've got a big job to do on Saturday, right? But if we get that job done, we are in a good place, right? I certainly know one fella that was impressed with the Arsenal last night, very, very impressed, and that's Thomas Frank.
Yeah,
he said it.
Yeah,
he said it. And also, John is right, and Jesus' movement, when he was liberated, he's now our third top scorer, by the way, this season. He's got 7 goals. Kai Havertz has 12, B has 9, and he's 7 in all competitions. But Martinelli's work rate again. I mean, we've been
impressed with him last night, Eamon.
I was very impressed with Martinelli last night.
Do you think he scored a bit of a corner again, Eamon? You know, he looks kind of bullish again, doesn't he? You know, you can see it in him.
Yeah, he's a confidence player. Just one other, 2 other points. I was looking for, once we got the 3-1, and Arsenal did it, got the 3-1, right, let's remove any sense of chaos from this game now. Right, give them the ball. Give them the ball and let them come at us. That's a sign of real confidence. And you mentioned the Partey, Marino, Odegaard. I think that midfield is all right when we have the ball and when we're dominating the game. But I'd worry about that combination on a team with runners in the midfield, and I'm thinking of Brighton, you know.
Fair point.
And I think you'd need Declan in to kind of combat that. But look, I thought it was a very, very good performance. Very pleased with it. No meltdown required. And as Dave O'Leary would say, get on with it. You know.
With Urian Timber picking up a yellow card last night, and he'll miss the Brighton game, unfortunately, due to it. Do you think he'll be a bit of a loss, John, against Brighton on Saturday?
Yeah, because you're not just losing a right back, you're losing Thomas Partey from midfield. That's something we've spoken about. Oh, it's a combination of both. Now, I think Declan Rice comes back in, but it's a double. Exactly, it's a double whammy. So you're losing a both sides. So definitely a miss. Instead, I thought it was a very soft yellow card.
I thought, I was from the papers I was reading today, Eamon, they were saying Jesus' antics were very childish now, but we're beginning to kind of ruffle teams up, especially away from home, aren't we? We can master, the dark.
Is antics getting a dig in the mouth that drew blood?
That's a fairly few. I was watching that back actually today. That moment happened before that. Do you think that was worthy, maybe even of a red card? When you look back, he actually was looking for.
I don't know, because I think he propelled his arm while he was trying to run. That's a different thing than doing it from a standing position. So sometimes, when you're trying to get away from somebody, in order to get going, you kind of, and it's as much to lean off the other player and hold them off and get going. I don't think that was
delicious.
A Bruno Guimaraes special. But sure, he didn't get even a yellow card for what he did last season.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Well, but I mean, to talk about Jesus' have they nothing better to be going on about? Like, really, though.
It's what Eamon said though as well, John. Sorry, Gabriel Jesus gives you more than goals, doesn't he? He infuriates defenders, but in terms of his moving, side to side, doesn't he? He gives you something different, doesn't he? As a striker.
At his best, his best, absolutely.
Yeah.
And like I said, this has been crying out for. We wanted to see him get back to where he was. I thought he was a bit of a slow burn the first 15, 20 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
Once he got his goal, it seemed like just rejuvenating, reminding him what he's there for.
Yeah.
And he was a playing person for the rest of the match. That's the team things. Jesus in that kind of form and that kind of mentality is an absolute asset to any club, never mind ours.
Well, John, look again at the one that he missed in the second half. Now, it was a difficult chance. He was climbing a corner. He kind of tried to stab it off the outside of his foot. But if you look at his starting position when Martinelli receives that ball, like, he's about 25 yards behind Martinelli. And he absolutely bursts a gut to get into the position where Martinelli found him. And, this is a guy who wants to do well and is now playing with a bit of confidence and has the ability,
Yeah, I know. His ability was never in doubt. It was always the 6 inches between his ears. But when he's on his game, he definitely wants him in the team.
Yeah.
Do
you think last night's performance as well, lads? Do you think Eaton and Wordy deserves the starting spot against Brighton on Saturday?
Do you want to take that?
Yes, yourself, John. Sorry.
I think that depends on whether he wants to go back to Lewis Skelly at left back. I don't think he played the two of them at the same time. That's being honest.
Yeah.
Now, saying that Calafiori's fit, he needs game time. I think he absolutely needs game time just to get up to the level we want.
He was a bit rusty last night, John Calafiori. I know he's been out a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it really depends on how Arteta wants to manage Calafiori. Can he play 2 games the back 3 days apart? Or will he give Lewis Skelly again? If he gives Lewis Skelly a start, I think Ranieri drops back down to the bench. That's just my opinion. I just don't see him willing to go with 2 young players in the starting 11.
Yeah, that is actually a valid point. Would you agree with that as well, Eamon?
Yeah, no, but I think Ranieri, again, while everybody was shouting and roaring that he should be in the team, Arteta was very clear that he had to take the advice of the physiologists. Yeah. This boy is still growing. He's not 18 until March. So he's not going to overwork him. But, I think he'll start again. I do.
Yeah, I do. You do?
Yeah.
What excites you about Namwiri, Eamon? He can drop in from the wing. I noticed a lot from last night, but can't he? He likes dropping into that pocket of space.
He's got fight.
I'll tell him.
I'll tell you what, he's got a drop of the shoulder.
Yeah.
And he has Liam Brady Liam was never quick, but he had a great first 3 or 4 steps.
Yeah.
That when he did drop that shoulder, he had a massive burst to get past players, right?
Yeah.
So when Yerdy has that, but also he's not afraid to do the raw stuff, like just go on the outside. But you see, the way he goes on the outside, he's going on the outside, having thrown the defender the other direction, because he's so nimble you can't really guess what he's going to do. But what really impresses me most about him for a kid, he's got a very mature use of the ball. He does the right thing most of the time.
Yeah.
And his passes, normally his first option, a bit like Bobby Perez, one of our greats. His first option is always to try and pass it to a teammate that's in a more offensive position. He only takes the safe option when there's absolutely nothing else on. And then again, and the flip side of that is he doesn't try and do stupid things. I know I'm very, very impressed, but I just think it's how hard he is to read as a defender because of that drop of the shoulder and burst of pace that he has. No, he's a smashing player.
Yeah, the one game that really showed me this boy's got something about him was that League Cup game against Bolton. Where he really, the drop of the shoulder and cut down.
Honestly enough, Jonathan, I would say last night gave me more of an indicator.
Yeah.
Of him.
He doesn't look out of place like Miles do with Skelly, though. The two of them, they do not look out of place in that first team, and that's really hats off to the coaches as well for bringing them that far.
I'll put it this way: when during the this 15 minutes of meltdown has been brought to you courtesy of the Dublin Arsenal podcast crew. During that, I bet you anybody who's looking at the game was looking at Yerdy when he got the ball, saying, "Go on, son, do something," because he has that about him. He has the ability to make things happen, and that's a great sign. He's different than Bukayo Saka, but he can be as impactful as Bukayo Saka was at that age.
Yeah. If you can get fans off your seat at a match, you've got something special in you. That's definitely it. Man of the match from last night, starting with John.
Oh, Thomas Partey. When Eamon, he ran the game last night. He was superb.
Yeah.
And I've been saying it since he burst into the team from nowhere this season.
Yeah. He said it from
Being an unexpected standout player this season, and he was superb last night.
Yeah, Thomas Partey for me as well. I thought Eamon had his spot on the thread, controlled the midfield, and that's, to be honest, that strike before Jesus stooped in, I think that nearly deserved to go in. It was such a hammer strike.
Well, that's one thing I meant to say without kind of going over all ground.
Yeah.
One of the things that we mentioned about this low block, one of the ways to try and draw that out is to have shots.
Yeah, you could see that last night, actually. Yeah,
absolutely.
Shooting on sides. Yeah, and Eamon, would you agree with our man of the matches?
Yes. Patrick Partey for me.
Patrick
Partey, yeah.
A fit Thomas Partey is a good Thomas Partey, yeah. And of course that leaves us, as I said at the top of the show, second in the table, 19 played, 39 points and 6 off the pool. Lads, as well, last night's game brought us midway. If you were to give a midterm grade, Eamon, how do you think we've done so far in the first half of the season?
Well, if you wanted to look at it kind of just from the point of view of, we're still only second in the league and we're 9 points behind Liverpool and all that crap, without taking circumstance into context, you could say we're a C+. But I think what we've achieved, given what we faced, that we're a B+. And I think we have the capability to move it into A territory. That's my rating of the team so far.
Yeah, I don't think we'd be far off an A in myself. I mean, I think we've done really well up to now in terms of the red cards we've got and the injuries. I think we've done pretty okay in all comps. John, if you were marking this as a grade of paper, what would you give us?
I'm Eamon on this. You can't give a grade without looking at all the crap we've had to put up with this season.
Yeah.
The stupid red cards, the number of injuries, the number of changes to the back four, you just can't give a proper grade.
Yeah,
We're second in the table, considering everything that's gone on with the club. We're still second in the table. We know that we know we get our first 11 fit and a full squad. We can beat anybody. We can go on a run. We can stay in touch. We've given not given Liverpool a head start. They have a head start.
Yeah.
Let's be honest with them. They played really well. They've beaten anyone that's been put in front of them. They picked up the points. Good luck to them. If they keep going the way they are, they'll be worthy champions because that's what champions do. But Arteta is right. We've just got to keep playing our own game. When our players get back, and just be there in case it happens.
If I was an Arsenal player, and I'm sure that they've thought about this because they know how good they are, right? They know how the ability. So, and without getting into kind of predictions for the rest of the season, the likelihood is that we're going to have to go to Anfield and win, right? So your 9 points then becomes 6, right? And what you're hoping for is that we put the burners on them, that they drop a couple of silly draws where we win, and then it's right in the mix. I'm just saying, right? So, look, let's not worry don't get too far ahead of ourselves. We've got to win on Saturday, you know.
I have to say, just briefly as well, lads, that game in hand, Liverpool have over Everton, being the last game at Goodison, you know, I think Everton will really put it up to them, to last Merseyside derby. I know Richie White's our biggest listener, but I think there's still something on that game, you know.
Yeah, Jonathan, I'm warning you. Look, it's bad for your mental health. Do not be worried about what Liverpool are going to do.
I think
it's bad for your mental health because John is right. It's damn all use if we don't win our games because we won't be there anyway.
Yeah,
I'm not having a little cut here. What I'm saying is, I'd imagine the mentality of the Arsenal is just keep winning.
Yeah.
And, yeah, concentrate on your own, and that's all you can do at the end of the day. Yeah. I have to say, really good show, lads, for our first review of 2025, as it says. Thanks again tonight to John Mealy for coming on, pal. Hopefully we'll have you on more in 2025. Not just the bench, not just warming the bench for the other lads. We probably have him back on in June for the review of the season. I'd like to thank Eamon Donnelly, as always, pal. Always a pleasure. Happy New Year to everyone again. Thanks for everyone who listens to us. Like, comment and subscribe. You catch our show on the Dublin Arsenal YouTube channel and on Spotify. And our next review show will be on Monday to review our away clash at the weekend against Brighton. So until then, have a good week, lads, and thanks for listening.
Cheers.
No problem, John. Take care.